Who will be the next killer to incite genuine fear and horror on survivors collectively? Will we finally get another legitimately horrifying killer? To answer these questions and more, let's dive in. And first, guys, I know there's been some leaks in the midst of me recording this video. Talk about timing. With that said, I was a little disheartened with my theory here, because I really want this to be the next killer, and it is a licensed character. So the leaks have been confirming it might be an original, which is completely fine. I think we often need to remind ourselves that original content can be great content. But I know I speak for a lot of people when I say that we are dying for another licensed character, and it does honestly help the numbers, which the devs could usually use right now, as player count keeps declining. Alright, so let's just hop in. Dead by Daylight is a survival horror game where players can take on the role of either a survivor or a killer. The game regularly introduces new killers into the game, often inspired by horror movies or other media. The Grudge is a popular Japanese horror franchise that has spawned numerous movies, TV shows, even a video game, which can make it a strong candidate for inclusion in Dead by Daylight. The franchise of the Grudge's central antagonist, the vengeful ghost known as Kayako, whom haunts and tortures those who enter her home or the place she was murdered, has a unique and eerie design that could translate well into a Dead by Daylight killer. I mean, honestly, if I see Kayako or the Grudge crawling at me, already knowing how she looks and the mechanics of how she might move, no, I'm good on that. That is true horror. And you may already think that the Grudge is in the game, as she's commonly mistook for Sadako Yamamura, more commonly known as the Onryo. For horror movie fans, you will know her as the girl from The Ring. This is because they exist in the same universe, and there was actually a pretty damn good official movie called Sadako vs. Kayako, which pits the Grudge against The Ring, or Onryo, and it makes for a more than interesting and brutal horror flick. I bring up the connection because it is exactly what the devs teased in this Twitter post. Alright, so we have the post here. Happy Crow and Raven Appreciation Day! Did you know that they can recognize human faces, maybe even hold a grudge? So that's where, this is what spawned my theory here. And I know it's a bit on the nose, but I'll get into that in a minute. Given what I've shared so far, which was spurred by the photo of Onryo's TV paired with the Grudge pun, I am I'm pretty confident on this little theory here. Now, we recently learned that there are no near future plans, quote unquote near future, as this might mean there are plans for the character in the future. That character is Alien, from the Alien franchise. It was rumored that Alien would make their appearance on Alien Day, April 26th. Now, this was always a rumor, not a leak, in the official Dead by Daylight forums, which is important to note as it means it was always meant to be taken with a grain of salt. It does make sense that Alien was not pushed out for a pre-anniversary release, as it would be completely overshadowing the 7th anniversary. And let's be real, guys, with the player count taking a drastic dive over the last year, the devs and community really need the anniversary and upcoming months to resonate with the community and audience. This furthers my theory for Grudge being the next killer. I will also be covering all anniversaries and previous teasers by the devs, so we have a good reference of what they have done with prior special events. This will especially be fun for me, as I am rather a newer player since leaving the game 6 years ago, so there's a ton for me to catch up on there. Dead by Daylight has a history of including licensed killers from various popular franchises such as Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Michael Myers from Halloween. Therefore, it's not unlikely that the developers of Dead by Daylight would consider including the Grudge in the game as a licensed killer, as it's been a bit since we've had one. In the same hand, guys, we do have to appreciate the original content as well, and some great killers and survivors that have spawned due to original content. Now, if the Grudge were to be introduced as a killer in Dead by Daylight, it would likely bring a new level of terror to the game. Not saying that an original killer can't, but man, it's really hard to compete with the image I already have of Keiko just crawling for you in these weird snapping motions and with the iconic as well. Now, it would bring a new level of terror to the game. With the Grudge, it absolutely would. The ghostly abilities of Kaiko could be translated into unique gameplay mechanics, such as the ability to teleport short distances or to create traps that slow down survivors. In conclusion, while it is difficult to say for certain whether the Grudge will be the next new killer in Dead by Daylight, it is not an entire unlikely possibility. The franchise has a significant fan base, and its central antagonist has a unique and creepy design, which could, again, well translate into Dead by Daylight. And being real here, additionally, the devs and community really need this to hit right now. However, it remains to be seen whether the developers will choose to include licensed content here or focus more on original content. All we can do is speculate. Although I believe the Grudge to be a strong candidate to be the next killer for reasons that I've highlighted, we can never be too sure. All we can do is keep an eye out for the devs to drop us hints like they did with Pinhead. My only issue with the Grudge pun photo we recently covered in the video, it's the photo with the crow on Honors TV, whom, quote unquote, may also hold a grudge. It's a bit too on the nose for me, a little bit too direct of a hint, although there are a lot of players I've encountered that don't know who the Grudge is. So, I mean, I guess they're a bit more obscure than other franchises, which might be why they were a bit on the nose with that hint. So far, other teasers and hints always seem to have been more vague, so this does make me doubt a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like the devs hints with Pinhead, they were not they were not exact. They were not concrete at all. So keep that in mind as well. So this is currently where we stand with leaks, rumors, and speculation. I've seen a couple leak videos already, which have given some insight. But again, at this time of seeing 3 to 4 of those videos, each one has claimed a different killer or chapter was being dropped. So that honestly has me doubting the leaks as well, which all feature original content. So from here on out, I will be definitely keeping an eye out for all of us. I will be covering the leaks and creating some more theory videos as well as the past anniversaries. That way we can kind of have an idea of how this next one should play out. Now don't forget to like the video. Tell me your thoughts about Dead by Daylight, your experiences so far, and your theories of anything upcoming in the comments. And subscribe to help the channel. If you've watched and made it to this far in the video, you guys have my undying love. I mean it, for real. Thanks, guys. Mwah. Woo!